welcome back to Green Eyed Starlet. If you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Brandy and I'm working to live a life worth living through art, movement, and exploration. So in today's video, we're not going to be talking about anything really woo-hooey or spiritual, but more about humanity. Because today I want to talk about a problem that has gotten seriously out of control, and that is cancel culture. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in watching, then please give this video a big thumbs up to help out the channel and keep watching. Now, with everything going on in the world right now, and when I say that, no, I don't just mean the police brutality against Black and other people of color that we're currently fighting against. I really wanted to clarify this for anybody who's watching because I recently saw a Facebook post from a really good friend of mine who was arguing that the saying, everything that's going on in the world right now, especially when specifically applying to the Black Lives Matter movement, actually is a euphemism for the BLM movement and therefore waters down its importance and devalues it as a whole. I completely 100% agree with their argument. However, when I use the term everything that's going on in the world right now, I personally am referring to police brutality, innocents getting gassed in ICE detention centers, hundreds of children disappearing from those same detention centers, the crisis in Yemen, sand clouds from the Sahara, coronavirus, people's inability to wear face masks, and to top it all off, the fact that it is an election year here in the United States, amongst a bunch of other things that I'm sure I'm forgetting. But yeah, with all of that, and I'm sure many of you have seen a serious resurfacing of cancel culture. Maybe it's not resurfacing, maybe it's been here for a while and I've just kind of been ignorant to it and now all of a sudden it's showing up on my timeline and I'm just like, this has to stop. Now, if you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, let's go through a little bit of the history of cancel culture. Sometimes confused with call-out culture and often also described as outrage culture. All of a sudden I feel like Tiffany Ferg and I didn't mean for that to happen in this video. But let's get into it. Now, currently cancel culture refers to the boycotting of celebrities, public figures, anybody in the position of power or has like a big presence, usually on social media, for stating questionable or controversial opinions and or being caught demonstrating behavior that is either offensive or insensitive in nature. But that's not exactly how cancel culture started. So I did a little research on the interwebs before making this video because I wanted to be as educated as I possibly could about this topic before making this video, obviously, but to be completely honest, I probably don't have all the information myself even after doing the research, so please don't cancel me after this video. I had to throw it in. I had to throw in one cancel joke, okay? Now, from my research, I discovered that the first time anyone's really citing the word cancel to be used in the same way that we kind of use it today, it has evolved, is from the 1991 movie New Jack City, in which Wesley Snipes' character has a line that says, "Cancel that, I'll buy another one," in reference to dumping his girlfriend in that movie. Like I said, that movie came out in 1991, so you might be like, how does that have an effect on our culture today? Well, jumping to 2010, Lil Wayne actually referenced that movie, and again, that specific line in his song, I Am Single, in which he says something along the lines of, had to cancel that like Nino, which is the name of Wesley Snipes' character in New Jack City. But again, cancel culture didn't really become a thing until about 2015. So where did it stem from? Well, from one of the articles that I read, and I will link that article down below if you want to read it, they accredit cancel culture getting its roots in social media to an episode of Love and Hip Hop New York, which was a VH1 reality show that was aired in December of 2014. I actually watched the clip from this episode. It is embedded in the article that I linked down below. And in this clip, they show a couple. They're not like dating, obviously, but they have a thing. The female character, I'm sorry, I don't know their names. The female character gets really upset about the situation that she's in with the man and gets like really heated. And he, in return, tells her that she's canceled. And I was just like, really? That's where this got started? And actually, what I like about the video that they embedded in that article is that is actually a commentary episode. I don't know if they have always done this in the show or whatever, but the actual two people that are in the clip are reacting to the clip, and he legit says that the night before he'd been watching New Jack City, where Wesley Snipes says that line. So it comes full circle. The phrase being canceled definitely came from the 1991 movie New Jack City, but it's funny that it kind of took its time getting through, a Lil Wayne song and then into Love and Hip Hop New York where that actually got its hold in social media. It was after this episode aired that cancel and cancel culture started making its way onto social media, first starting in Black Twitter, which if you don't know what Black Twitter is, I will leave a video link down below for you to go check out what Black Twitter is. It's very important for culture, especially in America, so definitely go check that out. That video explains it way better than I could right now. But cancel culture first started on Black Twitter, and a lot of the times, because, you know, culture in America does this, I feel like, and probably, you know, around the world, but things that start on Black Twitter slowly start making their way to the more mainstream. And I don't mean mainstream like this is the better thing at all, I just mean like it's more widely seen and then people don't know where it originally came from. That's kind of what I mean by more mainstream. I'm sure there's a better term for it. And in 2015, it officially really started making its way into a big, I don't want to say meme because I don't know the exact definition of meme, but I almost feel like it was used in a meme-esque way, as many people were using it in reference to friends and family, being almost as a joke, being like, oh, you like coffee, you're canceled. I don't know why coffee was the first thing I could think of. I think a lot of white people would use Nickelback as an example, like, you like Nickelback? Ugh, canceled immediately. Now, as it made its way from being a meme or being a joke-esque thing, cancel culture started to become something that we used more as a way of boycotting, a way of calling people out, not like call out culture, but calling people out and stating that what they had done was wrong and incorrect, and that they, whoever that person was, no longer has our money, our support, our beliefs in them, anything like that. Now again, as this started on Black Twitter, it actually started more as a civil rights movement-esque thing. And a lot of people will argue, even though cancel culture is a relatively new thing to us in our cultural, you know, language, our vernacular, cancel culture has been a thing for many, many years for the Black community. And cancel culture in our everyday use and in social media was kind of our new way to boycott and voice our opinions about things that were wrong. So that's kind of the history of cancel culture. There is so much more that goes into it. I'm sorry if I've forgotten something that you really wish I had talked about on this. Please leave it down below. Like, let's try to keep the education moving here. Now, why do I think that this is a problem that has gotten out of hand? Well, I think it's been coming up a lot more on my dashboard in the recent month or months in general. And definitely things like the Jenna Marbles issue, which I don't think is really an issue. That was like, she decided to cancel herself, and I understand that. So if anybody wants to comment that, I do understand that she canceled herself, but I do think that there was a little bit of unnecessary shaming in that. And I'm not defending any of the videos that she previously made, but I do feel like the mob mentality kind of showed up a little bit, and her case is a very specific case in its own. But then also things with like the Shane Dawson and the Jeffree Star thing, which I'm not even going to talk about that issue because I know nothing about it, except that people are screaming out that they should both be canceled. But I think cancel culture, for me, the problem that I see with it is I see it more as a way of shaming. I see it more as a way of creating a mob-like mentality. I see it more as a hateful thing than something that is trying to be aimed towards change, towards creating a world of more understanding people. Now, I want to say one thing before I continue, and please, please, please hear this, because I don't want to be misconstrued at all in this subject. I understand that my opinions about this topic may truly come from a place of privilege. I really truly understand that, and I thought back and forth on that as I went through wanting to make this video, because I understand I have a sense of privilege here. But as someone who makes videos on the internet, someone who wanted to be an actress, who is a yoga teacher, all that things, like, I have a very big presence on the internet. Not like I'm very popular on the internet, but like I do a lot of things on the internet. I post a lot of my life on the internet. And with cancel culture, I've often been afraid that someone was going to misconstrue something that I say or do, even as far as like the, you know, spiritual community and the witchy community, and the fact that, you know, I did not until recently know that white sage, I knew white sage was endangered and sacred to indigenous people, but I didn't know that Palo Santo was specifically a closed practice. I didn't know the word towards smudging, and the practice of smudging was a close practice. And I was very grateful that the community that I'm a part of was actually much more in the mindset of teaching me than calling me out and canceling me for something that I actually just 100% did not know. That's where I have a problem with cancel culture, is I think that we've turned it away from trying to create real honest change in, you know, our conversations, in our debates, in our everyday lives, and we've turned it more into you said something wrong or you did something wrong, and now everything you've ever had, everything you've ever wanted, you don't deserve anymore. And now before we go down that rabbit hole, I want to state that I do find certain bits and parts of call out culture and cancel culture important because it gives us the ability. Nowadays, the technological era, I'm so grateful to be living in because it is a era where everything is filmed. We all have, you know, smartphones that have cameras in them that we can film things, and that allows us to record and film and, you know, post and like screenshot and all of those things that people do and say, so that when they try to, you know, delete it, to hide from it, to be like, oh, I never said that, it's like, we have the receipts, like, we know that you said that, okay? So like, we're upset that you said that, and I think it's good that call out culture and cancel culture can be like, hey yo, what you said was not okay. I think that is important because we gotta start every, you know, learning moment off with like, hey, what you did wasn't right. How can we fix this? Like, I would like us to very much normalize changing one's opinions based off of new information. I would love if we could normalize that, because I think that we've started creating a generation, or maybe not in a generation, a culture, you know, cancel culture has created like another culture of people who just don't want to make mistakes. And I can't be the only one who grew up hearing you learn from your mistakes. Like, obviously you're not gonna learn everything you know in life from making a mistake, but like, you learn that a freaking oven is hot by touching the oven and going, I'm not gonna do that again. And if we're creating a culture of people who refuse to make mistakes, then they might sit in their bodies, in their minds for the rest of their lives, knowing only what they knew growing up, or only what they knew from a significant other, and never verbalizing those opinions, never verbalizing that knowledge that they think they have, so that someone can be like, oh, that's actually not correct, and it's okay that you thought that, but now let me give you the correct information so that you can learn and change your opinion. And if you guys really truly know me, you know that I am a yoga teacher. I am into the woohoo-y spiritual stuff. So I come from a place of more compassion. Does that mean I don't get angry? Of course not. I get angry all the freaking time. But I know that anger and sadness aren't going to change after I yell at someone for doing something or saying something that I don't agree with. I know that that's not gonna help me on a personal level. And personally, when I've had people yell at me before, I have a rebel mentality. Like, I just, you know, I'll do something perfectly fine, but the second you tell me I have to do that, I'm like, no. That's just how my brain works. And so if I assume that some other people are like me, the fact of me yelling at someone to tell them that they're incorrect, if someone's yelling at me to tell me that I'm incorrect, do you think I'm gonna listen to them? No. I'm going to get defensive. And when we're defensive, we can't hear anything. We shut everything out. We are protecting ourselves. That's the whole point of being defensive, is we're protecting ourselves. And I think that change comes from vulnerability and an actual sense of showing up in a moment for yourself and for the other person who has a problem with what they're saying. And now I think cancel culture has been good when it comes to people we'll never be able to talk to, you know, like celebrities, you know, that we will never, you know, our tweet will never matter. So like, then there's hundreds of thousands of us tweeting being like, hey, you messed up. I definitely think that puts an effect, and that's good. But I wish we had a little bit more compassion and a little less mob-like mentality. I don't like the word mob, you know, and I don't know why I don't like the word mob. It's not that I don't like the mob. I don't know the mob, and the mob doesn't know me. I hope not. I'm out there. I'm willing to go out there and protest for what I believe, but I'm not willing to go and just curse and curse and curse and, you know, scream at the top of my lungs over someone to try to get my opinion and my belief heard. And that's why, like, right now, with everything that's going on, but more specifically the BLM movement, I've had family who I disagree with. And words are important to me. Words are very important to me. I am very in love with writing. I love stringing together words. Like, it's really important to me. So it's been interesting seeing how, you know, family members or friends have posted things specifically on Facebook that I don't agree with. And generally, I try to come from a completely calm place of empathy empathy because I understand that they literally might just not know. It might be the Palo Santo thing where like, I just didn't know. So I take that moment and go, they might just not know. They may have never heard of this. They may not know at all. And so when I try to approach it from there, you will never see me. You'll see me in person, maybe spew out a few F-bombs or something like that. But when it comes to like Facebook and communicating with people, I always want to come from a place where I don't use a single curse word, because I think the second that you read a curse word, you automatically are like, oh, they're yelling at me. Like, oh, they're hostile. I'm on the defensive. So they're not going to listen to me. I actually had I think they would probably call it an altercation. I think I would personally think that it was more of a discussion that turned a little bit nasty with a family member. And it was crazy because they are, you know, much older than me, and you know, you think wouldn't be super nasty to a family member, and they were truly downright mean to me. And I never said anything mean. I actually like wished them health and love and this and that, not truly, but like through the whole message. And that's one thing that I think is a problem, is there are gonna be some people who just don't want to learn, right? But I think with cancel culture, we create people who don't want to educate people. And I'm not saying that it is your specific, you know, job to educate everyone in this world. No, I'm not saying that at all. But there are some people who want to learn, there's some people who don't want to learn. And then there's some people who want to give people the chance to learn, and some people who don't want to give people the chance to learn. And I think that is a very important thing to look at when you're examining yourself. How would you want someone to treat you if you made a mistake? How do you treat yourself when you make a mistake? Things like that, the compassion. And again, above all, I know that everything I'm saying here might come from a place of privilege. And if it is, and it does, know that I don't think all parts of cancel culture are wrong. I think that it has been twisted and demonized and converted, or I don't even know other words, transformed into something that is kind of used at the smallest inconvenience. I think a lot of people use it to, instead of helping others, you know, bringing others up to our level, try to, you know, kick dirt into the hole that other people are in. And that's just not the kind of human that I want to be. That's not the kind of humans that I want to surround myself with. So I guess I just ask that the next time you are looking to cancel someone, whether it be, you know, JK Rowling or your cousin, whoever it might be, try first to see if they are willing to learn. See if they have given any sense that they are willing to learn from their mistake or to grow from this. And then see if you can just give a little compassion. And I know that is hard. I truly do. I understand. But just see, okay? And that way maybe we can create a dialogue with these people who are doing wrong things, who are behaving in offensive and insensitive ways, and be like, hey, what you did was really wrong. Let's see if we can learn from this so that you can be on the right path. And maybe that person can help down the line talk someone else into understanding that what they did was wrong. I'm not saying that cancel culture has created a divide in us. I think the divide has always been there, and I'm pretty sure the article says that, or one of the quoted speakers in the article says that. I think the divide has always been there, and I think it probably will always be there. I hope not. I really truly hope not. I hope that we can go through this huge shift where we actually find unity more than division. But yeah, I think personally I am more drawn to stay away from cancel culture and try to be the best I can be for other people so that maybe they can understand what they've done wrong. And remember, at the end of the day, we are all human. Not a single one of us knows everything in the world. We're all still learning, we're all still growing, but we are going to keep fighting for what is right. And you know, yeah, this video took a lot out of me, and I'm glad that I made this video, but it took a lot out of me. I guess I want to hear from you guys if you haven't been commenting through the whole video, because I know I said a lot and I opened it up for you to comment multiple times. But above all, if you haven't already comment, or if you'd like to comment again, please let me know in the comment box down below. Do you agree with cancel culture? Do you not agree with cancel culture? What are your opinions on cancel culture? Because I want to know. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you're not already. I post videos. I know I've been like all over the place with my schedule. I just need to get back in the zone, I know. So thank you for bearing with me. If there is any kind of content that you would like to see, any content that I've made in the past that you would really like some more videos on, please let me also know down below. I'm always open to what you guys would like to see. I love you guys so much. I truly 100% love you guys. I believe in you, and I know that you're making a difference out there. I hope you have a great day, a great week, and I will see you when I see you. Bye guys!